As runners, we all challenge ourselves in ways we never thought possible, pushing the boundaries of what we're capable of to smash through targets and set ourselves new, bigger and better ones.
This awesome hobby that we share gives us one thing in common, and it brings us together as a community. Whether you're working towards completing your first parkrun or you're a veteran of the sport who's run 100 ultra marathons, we all know the feeling of reaching that maxed out effort and our own red line.
Welcome to our podcast, where your hosts Brett Elesmore and Andy Maguire discuss the struggles, the successes and everything in between on our running journeys, as we all work towards the next time we're running the red line. Hello and welcome to episode 76 of Running the Red Line. I am your host Brett, and I am joined as always by my co-host Andy. And how are you this week, mate? Have your legs recovered?
Sorry, I've just realised I've put sugar in my tea.
What have you done that for?
I thought I was making Laura one. I was on autopilot. I said, do you want a cup of tea? And she said no, she already had one. I was like, cheers for making me one, but don't worry about it. Let's move on. And then I made myself one, but put a sugar in it. Why did I do that? Should I just drink it anyway? I can't bother to make another one. Yeah. So I've got a sweeter tea than usual. Sorry, what was your question?
At it as well. Have you left the tea bag in as well?
No tea bag in this time. No. It's just a nice dark
shadow
tea.
Then. Yeah. I said, how are you this week, and how have your legs recovered?
Yeah, I actually annoyingly feel perfectly well from the, I don't know, ankles upwards. It's just my feet. It's just I knew this would be a problem because this time last week I was saying that I think I might be in trouble with my with my feet, and I am, because they have just basically protested against any further movement. So it's like it's not a pretty sight. I'll just say that. You'll have to just believe me on that one. It's not a pretty sight at all. But the biggest problem I've got, which is something I didn't foresee happening, because blisters, getting all dead skin and stuff like that, that's all part of being a runner, isn't it? But one thing I wasn't banking on having was what I now think, I hope not, is an infection on my toe. Because, sorry if this is TMI, but I think I've got a bad problem on one of my toes with my nail, at the base of the nail bed on my sort of like my, the one next door to the big toe. And I've just got like this purpley sort of build-up of, well, it looks swollen, and it's quite sore. And you'll just have to believe me that it is sore, because whenever you say you've got a problem with your toe, everyone goes, shut up, don't be a baby. But it's so painful having some sort of foot or toe pain. You just have to just hope people sympathise with how bad the pain is, because it's so painful.
Yeah. So does that mean running's going to have to wait for another few days, or?
Yeah, I was going to go back to Parkrun tomorrow and then maybe back to training on Tuesday and Thursday, but I don't think I'll be able to get to training on Tuesday now, because I'm not going to fancy doing any speed work with this dodgy toe. But you never know. It might just miraculously just go down. That's what I'm hoping. I'm just going to be a man about this and just hope it goes away. But Laura has said to me, "You idiot! If it's no better or worse by Monday, then you are going to the doctors." So that's what I'm going to have to do on Monday. But I didn't foresee these kind of problems. I just thought all the problems would be my quads or my calves or my knees.
Yeah.
I kind of neglected my feet, really. But yeah.
And your feet are quite important for running.
Well, they are. You kind of need them. So, but yeah, I watched an ultra runners sort of documentary the other day, which is quite good. It was called Sana Against the Tide, and it was sponsored by, the Harrier, the guys from Harrier.
Yes, is this the FKT?
Yeah.
The lady who did the one down the coast.
Yeah. So did you notice one or two of her bits of B-roll? She would have like a real foot care regime. And I just thought, this isn't your first rodeo, is it, Sana? You know what you're doing here. And so she would like literally take a sock off and she'd get like this thing that I can only describe as a chemical warfare looking thing, like a transparent thing that like normally you put on the palm of your hand and then shake the president's hand like you would in 24
Yeah.
and then it kills them. David Palmer, by the way, what a legend. Do you used to watch 24?
No.
What?
No. Never
Have you
watched
ever
any
seen
of it.
it?
No, I never watched any of it.
Wow.
My dad was big into it, but I just never watched any of it.
The funniest thing about 24 is that it takes 20 minutes to get anywhere in LA. You can get anywhere in LA in 20 minutes. That's the best thing about 24.
Yeah.
But why did I even mention that? Yeah, because like on one scene, there's like someone shakes the hand of the president, and it's like a chemical warfare thing. And she had this thing where she'd slide it in between her toes, and it'd be like obviously it'd be like cleaning a toe, or I don't know if it'd be drying it or whatever. But then she'd she'd douse her feet in talc, it looked like, and then she'd have a change of socks. And I was just thinking, this is all stuff that I wish I'd have known, I think. And maybe, who knows, if I'd have taken care of my feet a little bit better on my run, maybe I wouldn't be in such a mess now. But, I just did it old school. I did it Fidipides style, apart from wearing clothes, and didn't drop dead at the end. I just sort of ran, no poles, no foot care regime. And just ran.
Yeah.
But that was... I was going to
go
say
on.
that video that I watched, that was a good old video. The Sana against a tide, that was really, really good.
I was going to ask, do you think poles make that much of a difference on the long runs?
Well, I can't answer for that because I've never used them. However, I have used hiking poles when I've been hiking, and not only getting up hills, but also coming downhill.
Are they not the same as?
Well, the hiking poles I used were before. It was like saying you used fast running shoes before 2020. It's like they weren't carbon, they weren't Z poles or whatever you call them. They weren't fold away poles. They weren't ultralight. They were just sort of mountain warehouse, bog standard. You can have them at like a meter at the minimum, or that sort of thing.
You were like Gandalf, basically.
You've got it for the day. Yeah, basically. And you've got them both for the day. But I do think they do make a big difference. However, as we all know, I don't do any S&C, and I was thinking about getting some poles, and I was thinking, what if I absolutely obliterate my upper body and my core after day one?
Yeah, by having to move those around.
Yeah, like so much so that I wake up and I can't get out of bed because my back is in spasm or something like that. But yeah, I don't think poles are just for show for ultra runners. I think they're very well needed. I see Rory and Rachel use them a lot. They seem to use them on their mountain and
that's the thing.
Runs.
I thought the poles were just for like big elevation races, but do ultra runners use them on like flatter courses as well?
Well, yeah, because it kind of just helps with your almost like your gait cycle, because you're running like a big dog. Do you know what I mean? You've got four legs touching the ground.
I suppose, yeah.
And it's, I don't know if it just helps just propel you forward a bit, I guess. And it just must be that extra 1% that you need, or probably more than that, that can help you get through. So there were periods, like for example, like when I was doing my run, there was a big 30k stretch on the first day, which was just canal, and obviously it was all dead flat. But towards the end of the day, I had to take a few walks, and I was thinking, well, if I had poles, maybe I'd just keep going and I wouldn't stop. But two things I've heard about poles. First thing is carrying them.
Yeah,
it can be quite frustrating and quite annoying. And apparently, you put them in. You sound like Robin Hood, but you put them in a quiver.
Pulling them out like a bow and arrow.
And then the second thing is, once they're in your hands, that means you probably can't eat. So you can easily forget to eat because the poles are in your hands. So apparently they can using poles isn't quite as simple as just going for a run with some poles. I think there is quite a lot of practice needed to get used to them. But if I do continue along this path of ultras, which I think I will, I think it's one of the next logical investments for me to grab hold of, because I do think they would make my life a lot easier.
Yeah, it's a whole different world, isn't it? Ultra running compared to other stuff.
It's not a cheap endeavor, I'll say that. Like the amount of things we had to buy for this.
No type of running is a cheap endeavor. Once you go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I know. It's once you've gone down that rabbit hole, there's no turning back, is there? You think, well, I need some shoes. Yeah, that's the first thing you want to get. And you think, well, I want to get some nice. I want to get some nicer fitting clothes. Oh, but hang on, a t-shirt's not 10 quid. Oh, okay. Oh, I might get some nice shorts, but I want to have like somewhere to carry all my gels and all that sort of stuff. And before you know it, you spent £9,000.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, I would love to add up all my purchases and see, you know, how much I've spent, because it would be quite scary, wouldn't it?
I would never like to do that.
Could you imagine, like, those shoes that are behind you? Each one of them is, well, you're in the different room, aren't you? But on that wall, I'd say the average price of each pair is about 100 quid, isn't it?
All right. Don't.
Let's tell the burglars where you live.
I know what you mean, though. Yeah, it's scary when you start to add it all up.
I'm the same. It's like when I pile up all my shoes, I'm thinking, I wouldn't, like, when I take my shoes. I mean, my shoe rotation regime is, by the sounds of things, very different to yours. But when I take my shoes off and just pile them in the cupboard, I think, these things are like 140 quid. Why am I treating them like this? But because you wear them so often, they just feel like, you know, some accessory that you wear all the time, and you can kind of chuck them around, and, you know, you don't feel so precious about them as you once did.
Back before I was a runner, I would like proper screw my face up at spending more than 35 quid on a pair of shoes. I was like, what do I need to spend that much on a pair of shoes for?
Yeah.
And now I'll drop 130 quid and not even bat an eyelid because they're for running.
Well, isn't it? This is a big, you know, can of worms, but like the whole running shoe thing, is it marketing BS or is it actual science? Because, like, I was talking to Sam Bauer about this, and he's quite firmly in the camp of, it's the legs and the feet that are in the shoes that really are doing the work.
Yeah, you've still got to run the race, haven't you? Let alone, never mind what you've got on your feet. You've still got to, your legs have still got to do the running.
But then you think, well, in competent hands or competent feet, which we all are.
Yeah.
These expensive shoes do give you an extra advantage, don't they? They just
make it a little bit easier to do the job of your legs. Yeah.
But like Sam wore Max Asics Metaspeed Skies for a 10K, and he said he didn't really feel the benefit. And I think he must have. He must have. Because he's gone from wearing his Carrymores or his Adidas Ultra Boosts to wearing a pair of like 112 gram carbon shoes. They must have felt different. But maybe he's just firmly in the camp of, it's me that is in control. And it's not these shoes that are in control of the end of the time, you know, that sort of thing. Yeah. But yeah, it is a funny, go on, let's go down this road now. Because I wrote this on my show notes for last week because we didn't say it the week before. So I wanted to talk to you about the Puma Fast R3s.
Ah, yes, yeah.
So I've had not my finger on the button because they're never in stock anywhere. So there is that. But if I were to make a snap impulse purchase, they would probably be the shoes that I want to go for. But the more people I talk to and hear about the shoes, the more people sort of say they're not really fit for their intended purpose, which was the marathon.
Yeah.
Most people are finding them better for short distance. Now, I don't really want to pay 280 quid for a 5k shoe. Really? I don't know how bothered about my Parkrun PB I am to spend that much money. But if I'm going to wear them at 10k and half marathon and they're going to destroy my legs, I don't think that's money well spent. I don't think it is.
Yeah. No. I think you're right. It's a lot of money to spend for a shoe that you can't actually take up to the distance that they were intended for.
So what do you think about those shoes?
Well, I'm very intrigued by them. They look crazy, and everybody's raving about them and saying how good they are and how much better they can run in them. But I've also heard from a lot of people that they can destroy your calves because they're very the way that they make you run, the way they change your form is very calf heavy, so they're very forefoot heavy
because there is no heel.
So you can't hit heel strike. You've got to either definitely mid strike or forefoot strike, which means you're very much on your toes, which means you're going to destroy your calves. And I don't know. But that's why they're so fast, because they get you up on your toes. But is that the right thing to be doing for a long distance marathon shoe? Possibly not.
I feel like they've been lab tested. Well, of course they have, on treadmills. And that isn't the real world. That isn't the real, everyone does the VO2 max and their oxygen debt, whatever tests they do and all that sort of stuff. But I feel like saying, okay, great. You're in controlled environment, all that sort of stuff. But what I want to know is what they're really like for people doing 3 hours, between 3 and 3.5 hours for a marathon. Because I haven't seen a hell of a lot of success in that area. I know a lot of people have worn them around about 2:30 to sub 3.
Yeah.
But I don't know many people that have worn them, at 3 hours and slower, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
For the marathon. And let's not forget, we've had a few people that we know that have pulled out of marathons. A few pros. Have pulled out of marathons. But I think Marm's got them, hasn't he? And he's worn them for a half marathon.
Yes.
And he's and he got a PB, I think. Was it Birmingham he wore his for?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
So
But I think he's one of the ones that said he wouldn't wear it for a full marathon, would he?
No. Yeah. So I can. It just makes me even more confused. But that makes me even more happy that I bought the Adios Pro 4s.
Yes.
Because I mean, I've only worn them. What have I worn them for? A 5k.
Yeah. See,
that's all I've worn them for. So I'm so excited to wear them for Valencia.
Yeah, the Pro 4, lots of people have said how good they are at the short distances, like 5k and 10k, but they perform so well over the marathon. It's crazy. There are some people that say because the foam is a lot softer than the Pro 3, that they're not as stable. So for slower marathon runners, they possibly aren't the better choice. The Pro 3 is probably better because they're more stable towards the end of the marathon. But if you are a bit quicker, then they're amazing. And if you can get away with that less stability towards the end of the marathon, I absolutely loved my marathon in them. I thought they held up and worked brilliantly. So,
do you fancy buying another pair?
I probably will. because that's what I'm like for my next marathon. But I wouldn't need to, because my pair, I've only run, what have I run in them? I did my 20 miler down the canal and then did London Marathon in them. So they've only done 46 mile. They've done under 50 mile.
Yeah.
So I could run another marathon in them, no problem. Because they don't feel worn at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I probably will buy another pair for my next race, just because I like having that new poppy feel from a pair of shoes when I step up to the marathon race.
And you never know as well, like these Pro 4s, they might be like a shoe that's, say, a bit like, like a shoe that everybody needs, a bit like people used to rave about that Nike Pegasus Turbo, whatever it was called.
Yes, yeah, the original Turbo.
Or I would say the Nike Alpha Fly 1s, or maybe the Adidas Pro 4s are in that category where they're a do-it-all shoe.
Yeah.
And they might not be around forever. So maybe getting a couple of pairs of them might not be a bad shout.
Yeah. Although Adidas are quite good at just taking a model for a couple of years and just releasing it in stupid amounts of colorways. I mean, the Pro 4, they've already had, 15 different colorways already? And they've only been out less than a year.
Yeah. I tell you what I'm tempted to pick up is another pair of Evo SLs.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that might be another shoe that's in that Saucony Endorphin Speed 2 range. Something that's like, it's almost a bit too good.
Yeah.
To just be a trainer. You could race in it. So I think I'm going to pick up for my Valencia block and what's coming up for me in the autumn. I think I might pick up a pair of Leggett Lees. The turquoise ones.
Yes. Yeah. Nice.
So I quite like that colorway. Or I have seen them in blue. I think I saw Tommy D pick some up this week. They're in like a bluey royal blue color with white stripes.
Oh, nice.
Which look really, really nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, I think most people that have tried the Evo SL probably get the hype. I've had a few people say to me they weren't for me. I didn't really like them so much.
Yes. Yeah. Some people aren't a fan, are they? They don't like the way that they feel under the foot, or the rocker on them doesn't suit them as much. So yeah.
I think they really suit me, and size-wise, it was fine for me. I think the people that haven't got on with them so well, maybe it was their first foray into Adidas, or they went away from Adidas and they've come back to it, or because
possibly.
I found the sizing was fine, the fit and the shape and the feel of it was similar to my Adidas experience, I guess.
Yeah. What do you think of the fit of the Pro 4 compared to the SL? Because the Evo SL is quite roomy in the toe box. In like height and width of the toe box, it's quite forgiving. Whereas the Pro 4 is very fitted around the toe box.
Yeah, I mean, again, I've only done 5K in them, but I remember thinking, "Oh, these are snug. They almost feels like ballet shoes. They're like they're properly tapered in, aren't they?"
Yeah.
So I can see why people who have maybe half a size small have had problems with them.
Yeah, lengthwise they're exactly the same, but because they're more fitted, they do hug your foot a bit more. But I suppose you need to on that softer foam, number one, because you don't want your foot all moving around within the upper to then on that soft foam roll your ankle or something. So it needs to be fitted for that, but also you want it for that race fit to feel fast. You don't want don't want that loose fitting feel.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but I'm a big fan of them. I think I will very likely wear them for Valencia, and maybe a couple of other halves that I wanted to talk to you about at some point on this podcast as well.
Yes.
On the lead up to Valencia, but yeah, tell us about how last week went. We all want to know.
Yeah. I'm all right. I'm getting there now. It was a bit of a struggle first couple of days after coming out, because it was It was a 1 day in and out jobby. It wasn't it didn't stay in overnight or anything like that. They got in touch with me earlier in the week, last week, to say, can you change from coming in at 11 o'clock to 7 o'clock? So my admission time was 7 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. So got to the hospital just before 7, and it was quite funny because whilst sitting there in the waiting room, we had to sign a form and everything. There must have been about 10 of us, 10 blokes, all in for the same surgery. So it was obviously like a factory for them that morning, just in and out along a conveyor belt, just do the same over and over again. But we got there at 7 o'clock, and I got taken into my room and put on my like surgical gown and everything, and then they came and measured my ankles for the size of stockings. So at the moment, I'm still rocking the. I don't know if you can see
the stocking.
The
baby,
my sexy anti-embolism stockings stopped me getting blood cuts. So they came and measured my ankle for the right size of those, put those on, and then they basically said, get into bed and we'll come and get you when you're ready to go down. And they came up to my room at 10:30. And I had been, because we got there early and because I was nervous the night before, I hadn't had much sleep at all. And we'd got there at 7 o'clock. So I was just like lay in my bed, sort of like dozing sort of thing, not really falling asleep, but just like passing the time of just putting my head back and stuff. And then the nurse or porter came into the room at 10:30 and went, right then, Brett, it's your turn to go down, get your dressing gown on, get your slippers on. So did that. She took me down, and the whole morning whilst I was dozing off, I was like a bit nervous about the whole general anaesthetic thing and going down for surgery because I'd never done it before and all that sort of thing. But from that moment at 10:30 when she came in, you do not get a second to even think about what's happening because it's all so quick and snappy.
Really?
I didn't even think about it, and you didn't have time to be nervous. So you walk down to like the operating theatre, and you go into a little room that's off the main operating theatre. So there's like double doors that open into the theatre, but you're in like a little room off it. And there's just the bed in there. And I walked in, the porter took me dressing gown and my slippers off me. And then the nurse went, right, can you get up onto the bed, lay down? She started sticking the heart rate monitor pads onto me. Then the anaesthetist came in and put a tourniquet on my arm and started tapping my arm for my vein to come up. And then the nurse was talking to me about something else. And then he came round and put the what do you call it, the cannula into my arm, and then she stuck the plaster on it around it and everything. And then the anaesthetist was just behind my head whilst I was lying down, and he put an oxygen mask onto me and then leant over me and put one like syringe of stuff into the cannula, and I felt it go up my arm, and I went, oh man, that quite hurt. And I thought, that's interesting. And then he leant over again, squirted the next one, and then next thing I remember is waking up in my bed in my room. So
they didn't even prepare you to say, right, Brett, count to 5, count to 10.
No, so they were just
got on with it.
They were just chatting to me about random things and work and stuff like this, and then all of a sudden I'm out, and I wake back up in my bed.
Did you remember? Did you have that memory of that second dose of what must have been the anaesthetic? Do you have that like a warm feeling of like relaxation?
Yeah. So again, he squirted it into the cannula, and I felt it go up my arm, and I was like, "Oh, that's a bit sharp going up there." Because, like, when they squirted in fast, and it just shoots up your arm, and like I was like, "Oh man, that's." And then he was asking me about work, and I was like, "Yeah," and then can't remember anything.
Really?
Yeah, so yeah. It was that quick. So there was
you
no
just
chance
can't fight it,
to
can
worry.
you? Yeah.
No
Yeah.
chance to worry at all. And then woke up in the bed and obviously sore all around my middle and everything, but still a bit woozy from the general anaesthetic. And they passed me my phone so I could message like family and stuff and say I was out and all right and stuff. And then they bought me some food, and obviously when they put all the breathing tubes and things down your throat,
Yeah.
You've got a sore throat where it's been down there and where they've pulled down everything. So they bought me some food, and I was quite hungry because I hadn't eaten since the night before. So I started to eat, and it was just like, even though it wasn't dry food, it was like the driest food you've ever eaten in your life. And I was trying to swallow and I couldn't swallow. And then it got to the point where it was about to start choking me. And I was like, I can't choke because all of my middle hurts.
You
so
can't
much
cough.
that I can't cough. I can't do anything. So I had to then get some water to wash it down. And I hate, I know this probably sounds weird, but I hate having a drink or water in my mouth whilst I've got food in my mouth. I don't like drinking and eating at the same time. I'll eat and then I'll have a drink. I can't. Having both in my mouth, but I had to do it just for it to go down, and just be able to eat. But did that, and then I thought, I need to move because I've been in the same position for a while. Moved and moved my duvet and looked down, and I was just bleeding all the way through me my gown. So I had to press the button, and they had to come and put all new dressings on and everything because I bled all through me my gown. But and then basically it was like all the nurses came in and were chatting to me and everything and checking everything was okay. One of the nurses, he came in and was having came and checked my blood pressure and was having a chat. And he went, I think I recognise you. And I went,
no,
really? And he went, yeah. You do a lot of running races locally, don't you? And I went,
way.
Yeah. And
Has someone put you up to this?
No, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I do, yeah. And he went, yeah, and you film quite a lot of races. I was like, yeah. And he was a member of Droitwich Athletics Club.
Oh, wicked.
So yeah, he was at the Droitwich Hospital, but he runs for Droitwich. So that was quite cool. So we then had a bit of a chat about running and stuff. But the nurse basically said, we can't let you go home until you've passed urine. So until you've been for a wee, basically, to know that your bladder's working okay. So with my food, they'd bought me a jug of water, and I'd say the jug was probably 1.5 litres of water. And I drunk all of that, and they said, do you want some more? So they bought me another jug full of water, and they asked me if I wanted a coffee, and I was like, yeah, a coffee would be good because it's a diuretic, make me pee. So I drank the second jug of water, and could I go to the loo? Could I, Al?
Nothing would come out, or you just didn't need to go?
No, like I didn't need to go, but then I felt like I needed to go, and I thought I'm going to try and go. So walked to the bathroom, and I stood there. It must have been for 10-15 minutes just trying to go to the loo, and I couldn't go to the loo.
So like your tubes just weren't felt like they were blocked or something?
Yeah, just weren't happening. So I tried for ages, and it just wouldn't happen. So I went back into the room, sat on the chair, turned on the TV. Back to the Future was on, so watched a little bit of Back to the Future. And the nurse came in and said, have you been? And I was like, I just can't go. And she was like, well, we'll give you another hour, but if you haven't gone within the next hour, we're going to have to fit you with a catheter, and you'll have to go home with a catheter. And I instantly went, can I have another jug of water, please, and a coffee?
Can I have 8 coffees, please?
Yeah. And she went, do you want some ice cream as well? Because ice cream will help you. I was like, yes, please. And she went, and you know what you're doing with the coffee, don't you? And I was like, yeah, it's a diuretic. It will help me. So she brought that in, but then she brought in an ultrasound machine, and she said, I'm just going to do an ultrasound on your bladder. And she did the ultrasound on my bladder, and she went, there's only 350 milliliters of like fluid in your bladder, so that's not enough for you to go to the loo anyway. So it's not full enough yet. And I was like, so where's the 3 liters of water I've just drunk and the 2 coffees? Where is that if it's not in my bladder yet? But so I drank another jug full of water, which was another 1.5 liters, and a coffee, and ate the ice cream. And then eventually I managed to go to the loo, but it took me 5.5 hours to go to the loo.
Oh my God.
So
Thank
I was
God you
like, what?
did.
Yeah, I was like one of the last people out of the hospital because it took me so long to go for a pee. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's all good. Got home, and I had to have somebody stay with me for 24 hours afterwards. So yeah, it was all good. But man, it's been sore. It's still a bit sore now, but I'm way better than I was. Like waking up on Sunday, it was mate, it was horrendous.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just I could, yeah, trying to move or anything, trying to sit down.
Yeah.
I was having to use my upper body just to like push me up or like lower me down into a chair. And yeah, it's that they didn't mess around in there. That's what I'll say, is they obviously they got in
Yeah.
there and did their job. They didn't care about, well, obviously they care, but I don't think they really worried about what was going on inside
Yeah.
to the other bits and bobs. So yeah, very sore.
My memory of my appendix being took out is slightly hazy now because it was a fair while ago. But I remember that either remembering this or the doctors told me this. I can't remember which one it was, but I think anaesthetic takes about 24 hours to go through your body. So that evening you can still feel relatively okay. The evening of the surgery, but
Yeah,
then the day after just feels like you've been hit by a bus, doesn't it?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
that's when most of the adrenaline started to wear off.
yeah. So it did feel like that actually. But when they let me go, they gave me a box of codeine painkillers, and they said also you can take paracetamol or ibuprofen. But they said the thing with codeine is it can make you constipated. So if you are
Yeah.
going to take the codeine, make sure you take laxatives as well, because obviously they've done surgery all around your middle, and you don't want to be straining because of that. So
Yeah.
I didn't bother taking any of the codeine,
Yeah.
and then because of the way it felt, I didn't want to sit in a position or lie in a position that was causing pain, but having painkillers to stop that pain happening. So I basically tried not to have any painkillers, so I knew when it hurt. So when I was sitting, I could sit in a position where I was more comfortable. And I've only taken a few paracetamol just before I went to bed the first couple of nights, just so I could actually go to sleep. But I've been quite good actually. It's not being too bad, but yeah, it's
Can you
quite sore.
can you turn yourself over and stuff like that now?
I can now, but the first
Yeah.
couple of nights it was just basically lie down and just
Pick a
stay there.
side and
Yeah,
don't move.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if I did try and get onto my side, because everything then all shifted to like it all wanted to go down to with gravity, that was then quite painful. So it was just basically just stay in one position and
So
try not to move.
so this time last week then for the first 24, 40 hours, did you even bother getting out of bed or did you go down and sit on the sofa and chill
No,
out?
no, I still got out of bed, and my mum and dad came round and was with me for most of the like Sunday,
Yeah.
and yeah, so it was just a case of watching random rubbish on YouTube and chatting with my mum and dad.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been interesting. But what I will say is, since last Saturday when I had the operation, from Sunday onwards, my consistent pain that I've had in my groin, in the crease of my leg, for the past God knows how many months is no longer there.
Oh,
So
thank God.
it's obviously worked, and it's good because I've now not got the pain from that point. I mean, everything's still a little bit swollen at the moment, so it's not where the hernia was isn't down flat like eventually it will be. But the bulge that was there isn't there anymore. So yeah,
Thank God.
it's good. So although I'm in pain still in places, the pain that I've had for the last, I don't know, 6 months constantly in my groin is there no longer there. So it's good.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with how it's gone actually. It just, yeah. And I mean, from tomorrow, I've already done a week. So I've only got another 5 to 7 weeks left before I can get back to doing something.
So is that what doctor's orders are? You've got to have a meeting or anything, or?
So I've got a phone call follow-up on September the 20 something. So that where obviously they'll ask me how it's going and everything and give me the all clear to go for it.
Amazing.
But yeah, I've left the house this week once. And that was on Wednesday night. Andy, the coach from B&R, came and picked me up and took me down to the track, and we watched a couple of races of the Vets League.
Oh, wicked!
Yeah, managed to see the 3,000 meter races and then the relays at the end. So that was quite nice.
Wicked! Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So, have you already planned what your first run back will be? Have you thought about that?
No, I haven't even thought about it yet. No, I've so far all I've thought about is, can I actually stand up straight? Because I still can't quite fully stand up straight. I'm still having to like crease over slightly because everything feels really tight around the middle. But I've almost got to fully upright, so that's good.
Oh yeah.
But that's all I've been thinking about so far is getting rid of all the pain so I can actually get to the point where I can start walking, and then I can plan what's going to happen next.
Yeah, fingers crossed you'll be sort of pain free by this time next week, maybe.
Hopefully, yeah, which would be lovely.
Yeah.
But they've said I can drive once I can stamp both feet without any pain.
Right.
So, yeah, and I guess that's just because of like using the pedals, number one, and then any emergency stops or anything like that. They don't want you putting your foot on the brake and going, oh, that hurts, so letting out go of the brake and then crashing into a tree.
Yeah, it was too painful to brake, so I just crashed into a tree instead. Yeah.
So, but it's all good. I'm definitely getting there. It was it was interesting the first couple of days trying to get out of bed and actually sit up, and the floor was a very long way away on Sunday and Monday.
Yeah.
There was no chance I was getting to the floor.
Yeah.
I could not reach the floor at all. Just But now I can actually get to the floor. I can squat down and reach the floor, so I can actually feed the cats properly now. Everything.
Yeah.
But no, it's all good.
And how was your experience? Because I know you were obviously quite nervous and worried about the procedure.
Yeah.
Looking back now, do you feel like it's conquered your fear of that sort of thing?
Yeah, I think so. It was all good. I mean, I'm not going to say I wasn't worried whilst I was there, because it's an odd situation to be in. It's not a natural thing to be in a hospital about to be knocked out and then cut you open and play around inside. That's not a natural thing to happen. So but the whole experience was all right. They were really pleasant, really good, looked after me well. So I don't think I could have asked for much more from them, really.
Good.
Yeah. But yeah. But now, obviously, I've still got my what's called my dressings on the wounds, because they cut you in 3 different places. So they do all the surgery through a hole just underneath your belly button, which is where they get in to do everything and to insert the gauze, and that patches up the weakness in your muscle. But they have one cut one side, which is for the camera to go down so they can see what they're doing whilst they're down there. But apparently the other one is so they can pump you full of gas, which then inflates you and moves all of your organs around so they have space to go and do what they need to do. So yeah, that must have caused some discomfort as well in the healing process, because they've moved everything out the way and then it's had to shift back. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I've been doing some research afterwards, and I found out. So I thought an inguinal hernia. I thought the word inguinal meant that it had breached the muscle, but inguinal is actually because of your inguinal canal, and your inguinal canal is that part of your body, and on men, the hole which the weakness can appear in and where the breach of the hernia happens is where your testicle goes down when you reach puberty. And then for women, where it is where your birth canal is. So there's a hole there, and it's just the weakness in your muscle, which can be through age, it can be through straining and overusing your muscle, or it can be a weakness which is there from birth.
Yeah.
It's the hole where your testicle went down that then either your fat or your intestines pops through.
No way. So it's just a hole in your insides.
Yeah. Where if you get a weakness in your muscle, that's then where it goes down into. So it's your inguinal canal.
Yeah.
Not so the inguinal bit, it doesn't mean that it's actually breached. So it just means where it is, the part where it is. Yeah. So apparently you can have an umbilical hernia as well, which is by your belly button. And then there's other areas where you can have hernias.
Interesting.
But apparently an inguinal hernia doesn't go away. It just slowly gets worse. And you can live with it for a certain period, but there is a point where you have to get surgery, and surgery is the only way to fix it.
Oh dear. Yeah. Well, fingers crossed you won't ever have to go under again, and that'll be the
fingers crossed. It's all sorted. That pain's gone, so that's a positive. So yeah, hopefully once I've done my bit of recovery, I can get back to it, and we're all good to go.
Yeah. Well, good to hear that it went well.
Cheers, man.
And a few more days, and hopefully you'll be pain free, and then a few more weeks, and you'll be running again.
Exactly. Cannot wait for October. October can't come soon enough.
Wicked. Do you want to chat us through some running news from last week? Because I think there was some hot drama on the track from last week, wasn't there?
There was indeed. Actually, just a quick one from the last couple of days, because this week, obviously it was UK champs last weekend, but this week and this weekend it's the European under-20s championships, and one bit of good news from that is Ines Fitzgerald, who I've spoke about on the pod before. She is now European under-20s 5,000 meter champion, and she won by a mile.
Brilliant!
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, smashed everybody in the competition. But she ran 15:09.04, and that is the second fastest 5,000 meters in the under-20s championships history. So and she's going to be going for double gold because she's running in the 3,000 meters on Sunday. So hopefully she'll come away with a gold in that as well.
Brilliant.
But yeah, but UK champs happened on the weekend just gone.
Do you mind if I have a biscuit just while you're reading this?
No, go
I've been
for
desperate.
it.
I've been desperate to have my VIBs.
Yeah, I saw you. Well, I heard you rattling and rustling.
Sorry.
What
They've
type
been
are they?
staring at me.
Are they just milk chocolate digestives?
No, with the caramel bit in the middle.
Oh, I was going to say they looked a bit chewy the way you were. Yeah.
Let me move the microphone. I don't want to ruin the podcast.
You've gone for the posh digestives, not just the chocolate digestives. What's it like? Nice?
So good. Well good.
Mate. Oh, mate. I said this to you earlier in the week, didn't I? I can't laugh properly at the moment because when you properly belly laugh, it hurts. So I can't properly laugh at the moment. But yeah,
okay,
it's all good. So UK champs happened, and there was some great racing going on over the weekend. Races we're pretty much interested in. The first would be the women's 800 meters, and in this we had obviously, as I said when I was talking about them, the way British champs works is different to other countries' champs. So in like the US champs, top 3 at the US champs, no matter what, go to the Worlds or the Olympics, whatever the champs is going towards. But in the UK, it's first 2 or 3 to finish, but only if you've got the standard. So you'll only go to the champs if you've got the World Championship standard. So yeah. So although some of the races are interesting, some of the results don't mean that people will definitely go and race at Worlds.
Yeah.
But in the 800 meters, now this was an interesting one because we've got no Keely Hodgkinson at the moment. She's still out from injury, although she has said she is about to run one of the Diamond Leagues soon. And that should be interesting because in that Diamond League, she's going to go up against Georgia Hunter-Bell, who actually ran in the 800 meters at the British champs.
Yeah.
Now, she won bronze in the 1500 meters at the Olympics, but she is also a very good 800 meter runner. And she just showed her class in the 800 meters at the British champs because she came round the final bend in about second or third and then just went round everybody and just left them. Gapped them big time.
I'm just watching it now as you're talking about the race. So yeah. Please carry on. Yeah.
So Gemma Reekie, who is one of our other top 800 meter runners, she more or less led it for most of it. But yeah, Georgia Hunter-Bell just went round her and just like ran away from her like she was standing still. Just crazy in that last 100 meters. But yeah, Georgia Hunter-Bell came first in 1:59.53. Then Gemma Reekie was second and Abigail Ives was third. But yeah, that was a really good race, just showing how good Georgia Hunter-Bell is. But it does leave her with a big decision of whether she runs the 800 meters or the 1500 meters at the World Champs. Does she go for the 800 meters against our best 800 meter runner in Keely Hodgkinson, who is hopefully going to be back running by that point, or does she challenge for the 1500 meters? Now, where this is interesting is if she runs the 800, she's got a chance of getting gold, and Britain have got a chance of getting gold and silver in the 800 meters.
Yeah.
But if she runs the 1500, is there any chance that she's going to beat Faith Kipyegon? Don't know. Possibly not.
Yeah.
So is everybody really racing for silver? So that's the interesting decision she's got. Does she go for one race where she could possibly go for gold, or does she go for the one where
Yeah.
the max she possibly will get is silver.
It must be so difficult because obviously Faith is pretty much the GOAT, isn't she? And
Yeah.
even if a substandard Faith turns up, she'll still probably win.
Yeah.
So it's going to be so hard to beat her, isn't it?
But the other difficult part of that is Georgia Hunter Bell trains with the same training group as Keely Hodgkinson. So will the training group want their two runners racing against each other, competing for that gold?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's going to be a really interesting one to find out what she actually goes for in the end.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
But yeah, I think both Georgia Hunter Bell and Gemma Reekie will be going to Worlds because they've both got the standard, and then there'll also be Keely Hodgkinson as well. But it all depends on what Georgia Hunter Bell decides to go for.
Yeah.
But that was the 800 meters, which was a great race. So yeah, go back and watch all of these if you haven't. Go back and watch them on YouTube because there was some really good racing. Next up was the women's 1500 meters, which was very interesting because it was quite a slow race. And this played into the hands of the girls who weren't as fast as the top runners in the race. Yeah. So in this race, we had Laura Muir, who is coming back to fitness after being out for a long time. We had Reve Walcott-Nolan, who went to the Olympics in the 1500 meters. So she's good and has got the standard. And we had a few other good runners from the UK, like Katie Snowden and Erin Wallace. But it was a bit of an upset because it was a slow race. Obviously, the pack stayed together for most of the race, and it turned into a last 100 meters sprint.
Love that. So those sorts of races
for the finish line, which was amazing to watch. And Sarah Calvert, who was ranked, I think, 7th coming into the race, ended up pipping everybody at the post, including Laura Muir, who made a really good sprint for the finish and came out on top to win the gold in 4:16.27. And Laura Muir crossed the line in 4:16.32. So it was a very, very close race.
Wow, what a sprint that is between four of them at the end. That's brilliant.
It's amazing, isn't it? And then Reve Walcott-Nolan came 3rd in 4:16.39. So the top 3 were 0.12 of a second away from each other.
Wow.
But Sarah Calvert took the gold, but because her PB is 4:08, I think it is, she hasn't got the world standard. So unless she now goes out in the next couple of races she does to try and chase that standard, she won't be able to go to Worlds, even though she's won the British Champs.
What? Wow.
So, yeah. So obviously Laura Muir and Reve Walcott-Nolan, I think they have both got the standard, so they can go to the Champs. But it could then be someone else gets picked who has got the standard who didn't race in the British Champs.
Oh, right.
But it was an exciting race to watch. Really, really good.
Yeah.
And that finish down that last 100 meters is crazy.
Yeah, that was a really good, interesting sprint finish to watch. Yeah, I'd recommend going to watch that.
Yeah. And then in the women's 5,000 meters, another good race, very close. They all stayed together as a pack. Again, not the fastest of races. Bearing in mind, Innes Fitzgerald has just won the European Champs in 15:09. Innes Fitzgerald came 3rd in the British Champs in 15:48. So that's 39 seconds slower over the 5,000 meters. So it wasn't the fastest of races, but again, they stayed together as a pack, and it came down to that last lap, and running away from each other. So Hannah Nuttall came away with a win in 15:46.9. India Weir was second in 15:47.98, and Innes Fitzgerald was third in 15:48.66. But yeah, another good race. Seeing that, and yeah, I'm not sure how many of those have got the standard. I think all three have got the standard, so they'll all be going to Worlds. But yeah, really good. Then on to the men's races, and in the men's 800 meters, I don't know if you watched this one. Did you see this?
No.
Now this was incredible.
I'm currently watching I've skipped ahead. I'm currently watching the 5,000 meter men's. Sorry if I've been terrible company, but I'm just watching Josh Kerr in the midfield at the moment. Sorry,
Yeah.
should I look at the 800 first?
So yeah, go and have a look at the 800 meters for the men.
Yeah.
And
okay.
Max Bergin just put on a show. He went, I'm going to try and run as fast as I can, and ended up breaking the British champs record.
Wow.
And he just ran the whole race.
He front ran.
He's
He's a front runner.
He front ran the whole race. Just from the start, just set off and just went off on his own, and he came home in the gold medal position in 1:43.92, broke 1:44, and it was crazy how far ahead he was of everybody else. In second was Tiernan Crawken in 1:45.56, so nearly 2 seconds behind. Yep. And in third was Alex Botterill in 1:45.57. So that was a really close one.
Just real quick, what I really like about this is that everyone's wearing their club vest.
Yeah, that's the great thing about the UK champs.
Everyone's literally wearing a vest that you'd probably line up against on a, the Worcester Half Marathon or whatever. You might see a few vests that you recognise. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, one of the best things about the British champs is they all have to wear their club vest. I think it's ace.
Yeah.
Although there was a couple of runners who were wearing their Great Britain vest or their Great Britain speed suit, which is a bit of a flex, really, because it's like, hey, I've been to the Olympics. But
is that someone racing in for Brat?
Yeah,
that's someone racing for Brat. Someone called somebody Tuffin next to Neil Gurley. How cool is that?
There's several people from Brat who are racing. Yeah.
That's mega. Yeah, I recognise some of these vests. That's so sorry, mate. I broke your flow. Go on, carry on.
It's all right. So, but yeah, if you can go and watch the 800 meters, because Max Bergin just took it out from the start on his own and just flew. The only one who it was a bit disappointing for was Ben Pattison, who is, I think he already has the standard for the Worlds, but he came round in 9th. He was last, and he was quite far behind everybody. He came through in 150. Well, he still ran 151.58, but he was quite far behind, and he had been struggling after quite a good heat. He struggled in the final because he was struggling with stomach issues.
Yeah.
So he couldn't actually run to his full potential, which is annoying because he's got the standard. He's now going to have to go and prove himself at other races to possibly get the nod for world champs.
Right.
So that was a shame. But Max Bergin just showed his class in that race. It was crazy. Then men's 1500 meters.
Watching it now. Watching the last lap now.
Bit controversial because again it was a very slow race. They went out really slow and steady and just stayed together as a pack, and it ended up being a last 100 meters sprint once again, and the top 5 all came through in 3:47. So there was less than a second between the top 5.
Wow.
But if you watch it,
I'm just watching it now. That's proper funny what happened at the end.
yeah. So, it's a bit naughty. Elliot Giles came around the final bend and went round a couple of people and was sprinting for the line.
Yeah.
Neil Gawley went out into lane 3. So Elliot Giles was in lane 2.
Yeah.
Neil Gawley went into lane 3 to sprint for the finish and had a better sprint than Elliot Giles to get to the finish. But Elliot Giles looked over his shoulder, saw Neil Gawley was about to pass him, and went over into lane 3 to cut
Tried
him
to
off,
close the door. Yeah.
which is not very good race etiquette and
No.
could have ended up in a DQ. And what's bad about it is it's not the first time he's done things like this.
Right.
He tends to do it in quite a few races. And if you remember back to last year's British Champs, he did the 800 meters, and Josh Kerr dropped down to the 800 meters for British Champs. And Josh Kerr and Elliot Giles ended up on the floor because Elliot Giles cut Josh Kerr up.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, and they both ended up on the floor, and Josh Kerr landed on the curb on the inside of the track because Elliot Giles cut him up and tripped him up.
Was that towards the end of the race as well?
Yeah.
Right.
So I was on the second lap of the 800 meters. So, yeah, Elliot Giles has got a bit of a reputation of not being the most lane etiquette aware person and being a bit of a bad sportsman.
I think he knows exactly what he's doing.
Exactly. Yeah. I think he should have got a DQ.
If you try to deliberately force someone off their line, you're thinking that you can throw them off their trajectory.
There are rules. There are rules in athletics. So one of the rules is you cannot impede somebody sprinting for the finish line.
Yeah.
So if you are found of guilty of impeding someone's route to the finish by deviating and going off, then you can be disqualified. And I think the way Elliot Giles was in that last sprint, he should have got a DQ.
Did they shake hands afterwards? I bet they didn't.
They did. Yeah.
They?
And obviously Neil Gawley was angry and he was shaking his arm and saying, "What you doing?" to Elliot Giles afterwards. They did go up and make up and everything. But because he didn't get DQ'd, Elliot Giles has got a place in the World Champs. So he'll go to the World Champs for 1500 meters.
Right, interesting.
Which, yes. So, so Neil Gawley was the winner in 3:47.06. Elliot Giles was second in 3:47.2. Samuel Charig was third in 3:47.42. Thomas Keane was fourth in 3:47.42, exactly the same time as Samuel Charig. So it must have gone down to the thousandths of a second. And then James McMurray was fifth in 3:47.53. So top five, all 3:47. What is that? That's 47 seconds. 0.47 of a second split the top five.
Wow.
So crazy. But that was a really good race to watch. And then on to the men's 5,000 meters, which was again such a good race to watch because they went off steady and they stayed steady for what was it? Probably 4,000 meters.
Yeah.
They were steady. No, I lie. No, it wasn't. It was at about 2 miles. So they had about a mile left, 4 laps of the track left, when Rory Leonard decided, I'm going to go here, and left the pack and made a bit of a kick, and Josh Kerr went with him and just sat on his shoulder. And they did at that point in the race. So with 4 laps to go, 1,600 meters of the 5,000 meters to go, they did a 60-second lap, and just dropped everybody. And they carried on because Rory Leonard basically thought his strength isn't in the sprint finish, and if everybody's together, I'm not going to be able to out sprint all of these people that I'm racing. So I need to use my strength, which is going from further out and really pushing them to try and tire them out so I can keep it up at the end. Because Rory Leonard is our British 10K road record holder.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. So he set off with 4 laps to go. Josh Kerr went with him. And then with 2.5 laps to go, Josh Kerr just went, right, I'm off now. I'll see you later. And dropped Rory Leonard like he was standing still. And just, I think he made probably, he put, 50 meters on him in 200 meters.
Yeah, I've just seen that kick. It was about 3 laps to go, wasn't it? 2.5 laps to go.
In half a lap, he put 50 meters on him, which is crazy. And Josh Kerr just looked like he was in really good shape and just went away. And then on the last 200 meters, Josh Kerr looks round, sees no one's anywhere near him, and starts waving to the crowd and asking them to cheer and stuff.
Celebrating with 30 seconds to go. Yeah. Brilliant.
Does a Jakob on it. But yeah, it's brilliant. It was so great to see Josh Kerr running well. But yeah, he came away with a win in 13:44.73. And then, as Rory Leonard thought people were going to do a strong finish, he got pipped on the line, and Jack Kavanagh got second in 13:53.35, and Rory Leonard came across in third in 13:54.5.
Yeah.
So that was a really good race to watch. Just the way that Rory Leonard went, right, I'm off. I'm going to have to use my strength here, and dropped everybody. But Josh Kerr just sat on his shoulder until 1 kilometer to go, and then just went, all right, I'll see you later, Rory.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty cool to be able to do that, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, so that was the men's 5,000 meters, and that was the British champs, which was really good, a really interesting watch, and really exciting to watch.
Yeah, cool.
But also on last weekend, that I just want to go through very quickly, was also the US champs. And as I've said, the US champs are very different. So it's don't matter whether you got the standard or not. First 3 across the line go to world champs, right? Now, in the just quickly go through a couple of women's results. So the 1,500 meters women, Nikki Hiltz managed to win the US title, and I think they have now got 5 in a row American champs for 1,500 meters. So wow. Nikki Hiltz has won that now 5 times in a row, which is crazy. But anyway, the women's 5,000 meters, this was a bit controversial because there's been a lot of discourse online about this. The winner of the 5,000 meters, who will go to Worlds to represent the US, it was Shelby Houlihan.
I recognise that name.
And that is the runner who got banned.
The cheater.
For apparently eating a burrito, which had some bad stuff in. But yeah, got popped, served a 4-year ban, and has come back and won the 5,000 meters. So he's going to represent the US again. They got a US spot in the indoor champs earlier in the year, but now they're going to go to outdoors. So
right.
There are a lot of people saying that the girl who was in 4th should really be going because Shelby shouldn't even be on the track.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's an interesting one, that the whole, if you've served your ban, should you be allowed back in the sport? I don't know, because once a cheater, I don't know. Yeah, but anyway, we then had the men's 800 meters, which was crazy. I don't know if you've seen this or heard any of the news from the men's 800 meters.
No.
But
Cole Hocker?
No. So the people who the main front runners that people thought were going to go through were a runner called Bryce Hoppel and a runner called Josh Hoey, who have both featured in loads of Diamond Leagues, and they were both in a couple of the Grand Slam track races this year. Instead, a runner who has recently come back from injury and is slowly getting better and better after coming back managed to run a PB in the US Champs, and that was a runner called Donovan Brazier, and he ran 142.16. So bearing in mind Max Bergin ran 143 point something, he ran 142.16 and ran a PB. But in second place was a runner called Cooper Lukenhaus.
I heard about this person.
Yeah. Who is a 16-year-old high schooler.
Yeah.
Right. And he's going to world champs because he came second in 142.27.
Rightly so. If you're good enough, you're old enough. Yeah.
Which is not only a 16-year-old world record in the 800 meters, it's also the 17-year-old world record and the 18-year-old world record. Wow. So he is now the under 18s world record holder for the 800 meters, and he's 16.
I like that though, because if you perform well on the day, you should qualify for selection for the big race. Yeah, I think that's fair rather than the whole seeding thing and the British way is rubbish, isn't it? Yeah.
And his coach, apparently, his coach before the race basically said, look, Titans can be taken down, so stick with them. And if you feel strong enough, as you get into that last little bit, attack. That's the time to go for it and make the team. And that's what he did. Came across in second in a new under 18s world record, and he's going to world champs.
Fair play.
And apparently, like he also said to his coach, if I make the team, does that mean I don't have to do cross country? And his coach went, well, probably not, no. And he was like, I'm so glad I made the team. Because he now hasn't got to go and race cross country. Brilliant.
Brilliant.
But then in third was Bryce Hoppel in 142.49. And then Josh Hoey came fourth in 143.06. But yeah, crazy good. And then in the 1500 meters, the men's 1500 meters, this was a bit of an upset. Yeah. So Yared Nuguse took it out from the start and tried to front run the whole race, but got swallowed up in the last 100 meters. And Yared Nuguse, you would think, is a dead cert going to go to the world champs for the US. Yared Nuguse ended up coming fifth.
Oh dear.
And instead, a young runner called Jonah Koech ended up winning overall, who's an Under Armour athlete. And he ran 330.17 for a PB. Second place was Ethan Strand, who is somebody who's just finished college. So he's a NCAA runner in 330.25, and that was a PB. And then in third, just making the team, was Cole Hocker, who just about managed to sprint for that line and came across in 330.37 for a season's best. So he's just made the team, Cole Hocker, the Olympic champion, only just made the team. And then in fourth was Hobbs Kessler, who went to the Olympics for the 1500 meters. So he was hoping to make it. And he ended up running 331.12 for a season best. And in fifth was Yared Nuguse in 3:31.34. So Yared Nuguse now, his only possible way of making world champs is to win the Diamond League final. So he has now been named in the next Diamond League race to try and get enough points to get into the Diamond League final, where he will try and win the Diamond League final, which will get him a wild card entry into the World Champs. But that's the only way he can make Worlds.
Oh, but he didn't see that coming, did he?
I know. Yeah. So bronze medalist from the Olympics at the moment isn't going to the World Champs.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
But from that, because it was such a fast race, the winner, their last lap was a 52.91 for the last 400 meters.
Really? That's lightningly fast, isn't it?
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
But then Cole Hocker, talking of him, in the men's 5,000 meters, he's managed to make 2 disciplines for the team because he managed to outkick Grant Fisher for the 5,000 meters title.
Wow.
So he outkicked Grant Fisher and Nico Young. So Cole Hocker came away with a 5,000 meter win in 13:26.45. Grant Fisher came second in 13:26.75, and Nico Young came third in 13:27.05. And the really sad part about this is Drew Hunter, who is one of the Tin Man Elite runners. He has been trying ever since he left college to make a US team, and he's come really close several times, but he come the closest he's ever come so far.
Fourth.
In this race, he came fourth in 13:27.16. He was 0.11 of a second away from making his first ever US team.
Oh, gutted.
But yeah, that was crazy. And do you know, I just said that crazy speed in the 1,500 meters. The last 400 meters of Jonah Koech, who won, ran 52.91 for the last 400 meters. In the 1,500 meters. Cole Hocker, in the 5,000 meters, his final lap, he went from 7th as they came through to the bell to win it, and his last 400 meters was a 51.76 seconds.
Oh my God. And that was the 5,000?
Yeah. So the last lap of 12 and a half laps, he ran in under 52 seconds.
How? That's absolutely madness.
Yeah. He was in 7th place as they went through to the bell.
Yeah, I'm just watching it now. That's yeah, God, that's I can see him getting the pack of 5 start to pull away and drop.
Yeah.
Try and drop the others. Here's the bell.
Yeah, because in 5th was
He's
Cooper
in 7th.
Yeah, Cooper Tier was is Cole Hocker's training partner, but he was in 5th.
So going round the first bend, so 300 to go, he's still in 7th.
Yeah.
He's still not in that front pack. The first 6, oh no, here he comes. So on the home straight, he's moving through the pack now. He's in lane 1. He's got someone on his right. He still looks like you still put your money on him to finish 7th. Oh, he's just moved up to 5th. He's on the inside now, on the last bend. He's moved up to 4th. He's on the inside. Oh wow, what a kick! That's ridiculous. His form is interesting because he runs with his chest out.
Yes, he does.
He's got his head back, like the G-forces. That's amazing. What a kick that was. That was quite phenomenal.
Crazy good, isn't it?
That was well worth watching. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you get a chance, go and watch those two races, the 1500 meters and the 5000 meters from American champs as well.
Yeah,
the US champs. But yeah, that is pretty much all of the results from those two champs, the UK, the British champs and the US champs.
Well, speaking of 5000s and blisteringly fast 5000s.
Sorry, I've just thought of something I do want to say though. So the UK champs was the UK Athletics Championships, right? Yeah. Just like every other country in the whole world, they have the Athletics Championships. What's the US one called?
Track
and field champs.
Right.
Americans, they're the only ones who don't call it athletics. They call it track and field.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Yeah. Well, speaking of blisteringly fast 5,000 meters,
go on then.
Somebody we wanted to give a quick shout out to.
Yes.
Mr. PB himself, who's bagged not one, but two PBs in about 4 days, 3 days, was Mr. Freddie Runs.
Yes.
So Freddie did a 10K PB on the Sunday at the Darlow 10K and did 49.19, so went sub 50.
Yes.
I think that was sub 50 for the first time, but definitely a big PB.
Yeah.
And didn't think that just the one PB was enough. So went to the Quayside 5K in Newcastle, which was a midweek one, I think. Was that Wednesday night, maybe?
Possibly,
and he ran a 23:01. And it wasn't long ago. I remember him really wanting to go sub 25 or 24:30 was what he really wanted. And now look at him. He's basically at 23, the sub 23.
But although, I was going to say he's done a U on it though. He 2 seconds faster, Freddie. You could have said you're a 22-minuter, but
it was the camera. It was the camera. The cameras are too heavy.
Yeah,
so the camera's affecting our running form.
Next time, that 23 barrier will be smashed. But that's incredible. 2 PBs in over 2 different distances as well.
I did say that to Freddie. I did say, he did say maybe without a camera I could have done it faster. I was like, well, yeah, but you wouldn't have a video then.
Exactly.
I'd much rather have a video and run 2 seconds slower.
Yeah,
and have something to watch back forever. And I think fair play, because it's only 2 seconds. He'll blitz 2 seconds. Next time he goes out for a 5K, he can take 20 seconds off that maybe. So the way he's going anyway, he's on really good form. So
amazing, awesome work, Freddie.
Yeah, well, very, very well done. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say it's been a long time since I've thought about 5K. A long time.
I was going to say, talking of a long time since you've done 5K and everything, your first video is out of your big adventure.
Yeah, put that out this morning. Had some really nice feedback on it, which has been really nice. And it is what it is. It's not everyone's cup of tea because it's a long video. But it was one of those where I just made the choice to make it long because the whole day was so long. I wanted to make the video long because I wanted you to feel kind of, I don't know, as much as possible how it felt. And yeah, I'm really, really proud of the way it's come out. I've tried to do it in a almost typically me kind of way, which is a little bit informal, but also wanted to try and make it as cinematic as possible and try and show off, the surroundings that I could see. And I've really enjoyed putting it together. And that's weekly episodes now are going to drop every Friday at 7 a.m.
I was going to say, are you doing a standard TV drop or are you doing a Netflix and dropping them all at the same time, but you're doing the standard wait a week?
Yeah, I did consider the give everyone every video at once, but then I thought, well, no, because what about if someone just skips ahead to video 5? So I haven't even edited it yet, so you definitely can't have it. But yeah, I've really enjoyed going through everything so far, and yeah, thanks everybody for watching in advance, and for everyone that already has. And I've raised loads of money as well. So I didn't have a target for this, but my target, what I thought would be nice, was 200 quid. Because I didn't really make a big deal of the trip or of the fundraising thing. So I thought, if 10 people give me 20 quid, I think I'll be absolutely over the moon with that. Last time I checked, I've just done over £1,000 now.
Dude, that's amazing.
So I'm honestly, I'm so happy with that. It's obviously it means so much to me that people want to, because they're not giving me the money, they're giving it to the charity. Do you know what I mean? So it's not me that's benefiting, but I feel like it's just so humbling that people are seeing what I've done and they think, yeah, go on, I can give, 1,075 quid I've done. So,
dude, so good.
So yeah,
mate.
so thank you so much, and thank you to you and to Big Dave and Sheila that donated as well. And yeah, thanks for everyone that's donated. But yeah, so happy days.
Awesome, mate. Awesome. I am very much looking forward to watching all of these videos and
what I would say,
watching your adventures.
Get it on the big TV. It's a big adventure. So make sure you watch it. Get it on in 4K. Get it on in the TV. Get a nice cup of tea, and yeah, treat it like you would a Netflix show.
Yeah,
but not quite as good.
Well, I don't know. There's some terrible stuff on Netflix.
Yeah, so maybe lower your expectations. But no, I have I've enjoyed making it, and I'm thrilled to announce that this video is a 2 out of 10, not in quality, in terms of popularity.
Yeah. Nice.
So it's when you do YouTube videos, you can see the analytics and how many people have watched it compared to your last 10 videos. And it's second only to my 5K PB attempt at Long Eaton, which I've never got, which is going to be hard to beat because my audience love a good 5K and love a good parkrun. So it's really, if you do parkrun content, you're basically sorted. If you've got a camera, go to parkrun, you're probably going to get views. That's pretty much how it works. So it's going to be hard for me to beat that one, but yeah, it's giving it a run for its money.
Good. So what's next? Should we go through some comments and emails and see if we got?
Let's quickly before we do that, I just wanted to get your opinion on something. I am obviously nowhere near anywhere decent fitness at the moment in terms of like upper end stuff, but obviously I do want to chase a sub 90 half. Am I being too greedy by doing all this stuff all at once? I've got a marathon in the winter.
Yeah.
I've got I've just done this big ultra. Would I be too greedy going after it this autumn, considering where I am now and I've only got sort of 4 to 8 weeks to get ready for one?
I don't think so. I mean, marathon's not till the start of December.
Yep.
And your half marathons are coming up in September.
Yes, but what I was thinking of doing is having a goal half marathon at the start of October. So not Worcester, not the Great North Run, but a secret one that I will not announce is going to be my sub 90 challenge. But I just don't know if that's... So instead of doing a 16-week block for Valencia, what I'm going to do is concentrate 8 weeks on, thresholdy stuff and then half marathon stuff, and then do an 8-week block with a 2-week taper with lots of long runs, lots of dedicated marathon pace, and then a 2-week taper for Valencia. So that's what I'm thinking of doing.
Okay.
And the reason I'm thinking of doing that is because it's my birthday halfway through the block. And I'm going to be 40, which reminds me, I'm getting the camper van on Monday. We're picking it up. So Laura and I are planning a little camper van adventure at the end of September, start of October, which means I'll have to have a break during the block, which is why I've put like a race in the middle of all that. So the holiday will be like a little taper sort of thing.
Yeah. Remember, you've said sub 3 at 40. So
yeah. I won't be anywhere near sub 3. I still haven't really. Do you know what? I was thinking about this the other day. I'm not going to give myself a hard target, a clickbaity YouTube series with a big number on it that attracts people. Like I'm not going to say the challenge 310 or nothing. I'm not going to do that, or sub 3, or I'm a waste of space. I'm not going to do that sort of thing. What I'm going to try and do is beat my Valencia time, because what happens is so often I have, let's say, this happened with Valencia. So let's say I've got a PB of 3. What was it going into Valencia? 340, 330. I wanted 320. I got 321, which was a ridiculously 15-minute PB, but somehow felt disappointed in myself because I missed out by 60 seconds on my target time. So what I'm going to do is not give myself. I know a number that I would really like, but I'm not going to plaster it all over the internet of that number and chase that number, because I know I run the risk of feeling disappointed, even if I do really well.
Yeah. I know you've just said that you're going to try and go faster than you ran last year at Valencia. Yeah. Would you be disappointed if you went over 220? Oh, sorry, 320. Sorry.
Yeah. I assumed you meant 320. Yes, I probably would, but I'm not thinking that way. I just want to try and beat last year's time. So, because the PB is pretty much exactly 321.
Yeah.
If I did 320, that's a PB. So no, I wouldn't be disappointed. Yeah. But if I did more than 321, 322, then yes, I probably would be.
Yeah.
Which I get what you're saying. So I don't want to put my expectations too low, just to give myself a bit of wiggle room. I do know a number that I really would like to aim for, but I just don't want to ingrain that into my psyche so that it becomes almost impossible to chase, if you know what I mean. I think targets are really good and ambitious targets are really good, but I think ambitious targets all the time are maybe not healthy. So for this particular marathon, it's almost like a free hit. You know what I mean? I'm going to try and see where I am. I know I've made some good strides with my running this year, and I think I can beat my Valencia time from last year. It's just hopefully going to be a case by how much, rather than can I do 311 or 313 or something like that.
Yeah.
Purely because I've got PBs in the past and felt disappointed because it wasn't the PB that I really wanted.
Yeah.
So, I'm thinking of doing, for the half marathon anyway, I'm thinking of doing plenty of threshold stuff rather than lots of marathon pacey stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still thinking of the volume side of things, trying to increase that volume. And then when marathon training comes around, hopefully that volume will increase.
Yeah, because we were talking about, weren't we, whether you go for it at Great North Run or Worcester, but now it's not going for it at either.
No, I think what I will do is the Great North Run will be a good hard workout, but it won't be a PB attempt. Worcester will be beat my Worcester time from last year.
Okay.
Which still might not be a PB, because last year I did 134.50. So my PB is 132. So if I can get somewhere between 132 and 134, I think that would be a big success.
Nice.
And then maybe a few weeks later I can go for that 90.
Yeah.
In the secret location that I haven't booked yet.
Mm-hmm.
Which will be at the end of my little mini holiday. So yeah.
So you're having the holiday as taper?
Yeah, basically. But the holiday is most likely going to be in France, which is bad news for my, running, because it's all going to be cheese and bread.
I was going to say cheese, bread and wine.
Yeah. I'm going to be in so much trouble. Oh. But I've done it before. Have you? I can't remember if we've had this chat. Have you raced on holiday before or abroad or?
No.
it's really good fun, like, because you're kind of in a cloud and you're in a bubble.
Yeah.
It's like your taper week is like longer, if you know what I mean. So it's like your mind isn't, but it's really good because your mind isn't constantly on the race
Yeah.
because it's on other things like sightseeing or going out for dinner or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's as
So
long as I don't eat too much, I should be okay.
Yeah. So does
Which
that
is
mean the half marathons in France?
Well, I won't say
That's a yes.
oui or no, but it could be. Peut-être.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
So
Nice.
yeah, so that's what's occurring. So yeah, I think that might be hopefully doable, sub 90, but that's, in Ks, that's 4:14 a K. And that's not far off my 5K pace. That's the scary bit. It's not far away from my, 5K, let alone my 10K. It's pretty much my 10K pace. But that's what happens with all these races, isn't it? Your 10K pace becomes your half marathon, and your 10K pace becomes your 5K pace.
Yeah.
And it always keeps moving forward, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So that's going to be quite an exciting autumn.
Nice.
But the mega goal will be a good result in December in
Amazing.
Valencia.
Good.
So,
Good. Yeah. I am looking forward to hearing how it all goes. And now that I know that neither Great North Run and Worcester will be the PB attempt, that probably does give you a bit more time to think about getting that PB. So I don't think you're greedy at all. I think that's probably a good thing. You just don't want to go too hard at Worcester because that's towards. Is it in the middle of September?
Yeah, that's the week after
So
Great North, 14th.
You'll only have a couple of weeks, won't you, until your target half where you try for that sub 90. So you don't want to go too hard at Worcester because 2 weeks isn't really enough to recover from a hard half to go again.
Yeah.
Just remember that.
But one thing again I wanted to say is that I only got into Worcester. Is it today, Friday, on Wednesday, because they put out a thing that's normally designed to make you panic a little bit and book it. But they said we think we're going to sell out. And I thought, oh god, I haven't booked Worcester, the It's On Andy race. I haven't booked it. So I went and booked it, and then the day after, they've sold out. So it's all 6,000 places have gone. So it's going to be the biggest event ever, I think.
Amazing.
At Worcester. So it's going to be pretty exciting.
Excellent.
That's the 14th of September, yeah. So that's exciting.
Good. Right. Comments. So we actually had some comments I didn't realise on episode 74, which was the one which it was our 10 of 10 episode that I did on my own whilst you were out gallivanting around the River Severn.
I really enjoyed that episode. I thought it was our best one.
But first one's from Carl JB, which is Carl Bennett.
Carl Bennett,
who won our inaugural Parkrun in the Red Line. And he says, thanks for the pod, Brett. Well worth it, and well done on almost an hour of chatting on your own. Look forward to hearing all about Andy's challenge on the next podcast. Well, I hope that our last podcast filled your filled your belly with sustenance from Andy's adventure. Then next one is from Neil Cunningham 993, and he says, well done, Brett. Miles and more miles. Took your advice and purchased the 3 Stripes Boston 13 and Evo SL. Never tried the brand before, so did a leap of faith. What a difference the Evo SL is. Felt the shank in the right foot, but sorted that with the insole from a Puma Magnify 2. Boston is a replacement for the Puma DV8 Nitro 3. Unsure at the moment to get the Pro 4, as heard they are really soft, and loving the Puma Nitro Elite 3, which still have a few more miles left on them. So what do you think? Would if you're loving the Puma DV8 Nitro 3, Puma Nitro Elite 3,
Yeah.
and they've still got more miles in them, would you get a pair of the Adios Pro 4s, or would you just carry on with the Puma Nitro Elites?
Oh, it depends how much you've got in your bank account. If you can afford them, get them. Because
Yeah.
I think if you can, you might find that this shoe does something slightly different to what the Puma does. And you know, I don't know if they say what races they're training for or anything, but you might find that the Adidas is better suited to marathons, and you really like the Pumas for half marathons. Or I don't know, just get it if you can afford it. Get it. If not, then keep with the Pumas. It's win-win.
Yeah. Good advice. If you can afford it, do it.
Yeah.
Go for it. Right. Next one is from JUK 2023. He says, "Big up Andy on his challenge for charity. Can you post the link to donate in the video description? Not on socials, but I want to donate." So yes,
okay.
on last week's video, I did put the link to donate to Andy. I also after that put it into that episode as well, 74, and I'll put it into this week's description as well. So if anybody would like to donate, yes, I will make sure that is there. So thank you for that. And then next one's from Kieran Turner, and he says, "Well done, mate. Held the fort nicely whilst Andy was tossing it off around the countryside." Strava segment intro was definitely at its weirdest. Yes, I agree with that completely. Definitely.
I did laugh at that in the middle of the countryside when I heard
that. Next one is from our bonus episode, and it's from Lee Cheston. He says, "Brett Elesmore, roving reporter," which is quite good. And then we have a few from last week's episode. So first one is from ADB Running, which I think is Adam Bowden.
Adam Bowden, yeah.
And he says, "Gents, massive thanks for organising the challenge. Genuinely such an absolute blast. Only time I'll ever podium in anything as well. Big congratulations to Carl. That's an astonishing time to take off a PB. Great 6 weeks that's left me and my brother with some cracking memories." Awesome.
Amazing.
And then Carl has replied saying, "Thanks, Adam. Well done to you too. Not too shabby a time you took off either." Awesome. And then next one's from Inga. And they say, "But what have you been doing, Andy? What have you been doing out alongside the River Severn?" And she also commented and said, "I am proud of Andrew too. And he is surely making a difference, I must say. My parents both have passed away and both died of cancer. Sad but true. And I am yearly walking about 60 kilometers in an event where I live, raising money for cancer research, just like many, many others. Many people are doing things to improve the possibility to get a cure from cancer. It's great," from Inga. And many shouts out to Laura and her work too for making that long run Andy is doing.
I shall pass on the wishes to Laura. That's really kind of you. Cheers, Inga. Thanks very much.
And then Carl says again, "This Parkrun challenge has been fun and has had me something to look forward to each week. So a huge thanks for the idea and all the hard work behind the scenes. Hope your up went well, Brett, and hope your feet are feeling a little bit better, Andy." Oh, they're not, are they? Oh.
Yeah, I'll report back next week.
"Brett, when you are back and firing in October, how about a line of technical tees designed as Christmas jumper? Would be great to run in something like that around Christmas time and at Parkruns. You never know, running the red line Christmas jumper technical tee."
Mate, that could be a brilliant idea.
Yeah, I like that, Carl.
Yeah, that's good.
Watch this space.
Yeah.
And then last one is from the Great 772. It says, "Good luck for your op. Thank you very much. I had a hernia operation and was in and out in less than 12 hours, I think." Yeah, it is definitely in and out within that time. Just wanted to let you know I've been on holiday for 2 weeks and eaten well, too bloody well. I've put on a stone. I didn't run for a week before the holiday either. So yesterday I threw myself into a 10k race and gave it everything to be 6 minutes slower than my PB I set back in May. I put that down to the bacon and eggs and donuts for breakfast. I didn't expect the drop off to be so big. Andy, that ultra was amazing. Well done.
Cheers.
So what do you think about that? Putting on a stone in a week's holiday and then dropping by 6 minutes in the 10k.
That's impressive. I don't know which one's more impressive. That's putting on a stone in a week. That's some serious overindulgence.
That's some proper bacon and eggs and donuts. Yeah.
Proper carb loading. I like that.
Yeah, amazing. But there we go.
Well, can I just read this out quickly? Because we had in our Instagram, I mean, I should sort of say, Brett and I don't check the Instagram messages as much as we probably should. But we had one that was we've got this thing where we've got like a message request thing, and some people end up in that and we don't realize it until like it's too late. And we had one here from Erica Donkin. We've only just realized it today. You might recognize Erica's name because Erica was like top of the leaderboard for like 3 weeks or so.
It's a massive PB at what Parkrun? Dulwich Parkrun.
Yeah, well, I just want to quickly read out what she said. She said, "Hi guys, only just coming down from my high," and this is sent 4 weeks ago, by the way, "of being top of the Parkrun leaderboard. There is a lot of gloating and smug smiling happening in my house right now, as my husband is an actual real life runner. And I only started running after having my baby last year and wanting to get back fit. So to say I am happy to be beating him is a massive understatement. Joe, my husband, actually encouraged me to do the Dulwich Parkrun whilst we were down there, as he said it was a nice flat 3-lapper. Those are sort of in inverted commas, and might get me up on the leaderboard. Obviously, he was right, even though I ended up having to completely raw dog it as I forgot to charge both my phone and watch the night before and had no sense of direction. So I didn't know where I was going most of the time or what time I was on, but clearly it worked in my favour. However, I am now done with any flat parkruns for the next couple of weeks. It's back to the Wire Forest and Severn Valley for me, so that top spot is there for the taking. Well, cheers, Erica. That's pretty amazing.
Amazing.
You basically ran a parkrun basically naked without any tech.
Yeah.
And
so just feel and ran a massive PB.
So and Dulwich as well. That's I think, is that the one that Nick Bester runs a lot? It's quite a fast one, isn't it?
No, I'm not sure.
I think that's a London one, and it's one of those where it's just.
I know it's supposed to be fast, but I don't know where it is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in London somewhere. So yeah, well done, Erica. That's pretty awesome. And sorry we haven't got round to reading it any sooner.
We're useless, aren't we?
Oh, sorry, guys. So we've got a few emails to read out. I'm going to start with our good old mate Martin Maguire, who says, "Thanks for being so kind to all those that got PBs during the leaderboard challenge with some gifts, whatever that may be." He's got his address in there to give us because he wants his mug.
Good.
And he says all the best for the hernia op and recovery, and see you back at Parkrun after your full recovery. Did we read Mark Burton's out from last week?
I don't think so. No.
Said, so this is Mark Mystery Burton. So he's, "Hi Andy, Brett, still enjoying the pod. Great work. Parkrunning the Red Line also is a great initiative and very kind of you guys to put it on. It suited me to get in a PB as that was only my 8th parkrun and first of the year and probably the last of the year. So plenty of seconds to chase off. Cheers, guys, Mark." So yeah, well done, mate. One and only.
One and
time
done.
to make it count. Yeah, love it. This is a good one from Conrad. He says, "Hi, Brett and Andy. Firstly, Brett, I hope you're recovering from the hernia op. And Andy, listening to you talk about your ultra marathons was honestly gripping, and I loved it. And thirdly, thanks for the park running the Red Line. It's been an honour to take part, though I couldn't quite get my PB this time. However, on Sunday just gone, I went to York in search of a PB in the 10K. Due to working on most Sundays, I rarely get a chance to try a 10K, so my PB has been laid dormant for nearly 2 years. Although not specifically training for a 10K, currently I've got York Marathon in October, I felt primed and ready. And then, as we set off, something strange happened. 4 seconds into the race, I had an overwhelming sense of anxiety and powerful desire to stop, walk off the course, and never race again.
Oh,
I do
wow.
suffer with anxiety before some big races, but this was next level. Maybe my brain knew what was coming and tried to prevent the pain. Somehow I kept going, and a few minutes later, I was doing much better. I ended up with a 55-second PB of 42:43 and reflected on how glad I was that I hadn't listened to my silly brain. My question is, do you two ever have anything like this leading up to a race day or the race itself? And if so, what do you do to combat it? I'm learning that my brain is often best ignored. So what do you think about that?
Oh, wow.
Do you ever get any
I mean,
pre-race?
I get nervous at the start of every race, because I think if you're not nervous before a race, then it obviously doesn't mean anything, and you're not that bothered by the race. Nerves are a good thing. It shows you care. But I don't know if I've ever been really anxious before a race. Nervous, yes. Anxious, not so much. But I have had moments within races where your body says, "Do you really want to be doing this? You could just stop, mate. If you stop now, it's not going to hurt anymore. You could just stop and just have a walk." And I've had that loads of times, and you just have to tell yourself to shut up. And I always tell myself, I haven't put this much effort into the training to then not fully push it and go to the bottom of the well for the race. So just shut up and get on with it. But yeah, plenty of times where my head's told me just to stop, and it would be so much easier if you don't try and run this fast. But yeah, I've always managed to turn it off and tell it to go away.
I'm quite fortunate in that way as well, that I don't really feel I feel the nervousness, but I don't feel the terrifiedness, if you know what I mean. I don't feel that feeling of dread, which I do feel sometimes. I mean, I probably should admit this, but I do feel this sometimes about work. Like I literally have this feeling of dread sometimes about certain jobs that I do, but I just have to do it. I just know that I can't not do it.
Yeah, I know exactly how you feel.
And that feeling is normally confrontation based, or, you know, and to some degree in a racing environment, you're confronting demons of a different way. You're confronting, it's a very vulnerable and exposing place for someone who's maybe socially anxious, or, you know, doesn't really like to feel out of control. And that's what this whole running thing is. It's not being in control. So I'm quite fortunate that I don't feel like this, but Laura has crippling anxiety. She's done so many things in the past where she's literally had to force herself, you know, in floods of tears, you know, panic attacks, that sort of thing. Sometimes it wins. Sometimes the thing that we go to do doesn't happen because she literally can't do it. But sometimes she literally just has to almost force herself to do that thing. So I don't really see it, but I sort of secondhand see it when Laura goes through those things. And it's a thing that is so abundant now, because it's the good thing is that we can all talk about it, because a few years ago, no one could ever talk about it.
Yeah, no. But you saying that, actually, I've never thought about it in that way. But with work, I agree with you completely. I don't get it at all with racing and running. But like with work, if a big job comes in where there's a lot of pressure and it's got to be right, or it's a really difficult job or something like that, sometimes it is quite overwhelming. And sometimes I put it off and leave it till the last minute, because I don't want to step over that threshold of starting it, because once you've started it, you've got to do it. And if I can put it off a little bit longer, it means that I haven't got to do that. And I sometimes fall into that trap of putting things off and then having to rush or having to work longer than I should because the pressure or the anxiety of starting the job takes over slightly. And so I suppose if I put that into a running context, I can understand why Conrad would feel like that during the start of a race, because that thing of, it's like, imagine if you're bungee jumping or doing an abseil or doing like a zip line or something like that. That moment where you've got to push yourself off the edge is a really terrifying moment.
Yeah.
And if that happens at the start of a race where you cross that start line and you realize that's about to happen, what's about to happen, that could be really intense. But once you've torn the plaster off and got past that thing, it's amazing and it feels incredible. And you're flying through the air on that zip line, knowing that it's incredible and the exhilaration is brilliant. But that tentative moment of starting is quite scary. So if that happens as you're about to cross the start line of a race, but then you can get over that and then it just all becomes brilliant and you end up running a PB. Wow. I've never thought about it like that.
I think I think a lot of the time the voice in your head makes things out to be so much worse than it is. And just by dealing with that thing, by doing it, you kind of think, oh, that wasn't so bad. Bring on the next one. And hopefully I won't feel so bad on that one. So I think and like, you know how positivity breeds positivity? Well, negativity can breed negativity. And the more you don't do something, the more you'll find an excuse to get out of it, or the more you'll stop doing things. And anxiety and that sort of thing, you know, depression, all that sort of stuff is just the worst, because it can stop you doing things and stop you living in the moment and stop you doing stuff and making plans, because everything just seems so pointless. But once you can just take that leap of faith, I mean, I think it's either from a Disney film where I heard this, or was it a fable or something from being a kid? Someone is stood on a ledge, might even be Dumbo. I can't remember what it is, that sort of thing. And let's just say it is Dumbo. They say to someone who's with them, they say, what if I fall? And then the other person says, "Ah, my dear, but what if you fly?" And it's like having that kind of feeling that you think, wow, okay, wow, this is going to, what if I do fly? You know, if you start to believe that you can fly, you will.
Yeah. That overwhelming feeling of the unknown is about to happen. But just embracing that and going with the positive.
But no, Conrad, that's a really valuable and valid email. I'm sure you're not allowed by. This next one's from Steve Hobson, and he says, "Hi guys, I was one of the PB breakers, so I'm just dropping you an email, and thanks for so much for running the competition. It was great motivation, and it was crazy to hear how much time some people were taking off. If the benchmark is about 2:30 off your PB to win, I'd better get started training to run a 15:30 next year. I hope all went well with the operation, Brett, and congrats on your ridiculous ultra, Andy. Cheers, Steve." Nice one, Steve.
Yeah, cheers, Steve. But think about it, Steve. They've knocked 2 minutes 30 off their PB now. It's going to be difficult to do that again for them. So next time they're not going to knock that much off. So
you never know.
It's all open next time.
The last email we've got is from James Dunford, and he's written in a while ago, and he's written in again to say, "Evening, gents. Great work on the pod. Keep it coming. Enjoying your ventures and hearing people's stories. Last time I wrote in, I was prepping for the Edinburgh Half, and it went wrong. Accidentally taking too much of some medication for several months meant my training wasn't working, and I ended up a little bit unwell. Some tales from listeners about their responses to failure were powerful and helped me take an accepting approach to seeing months of work not take me where I wanted it. However, I had Round the Rock, a 48-ish mile ultra around Jersey to look forward to. Despite struggling, I put together a plan that joined up gym work, mostly the Stairmaster, and long slow runs to give me 9 weeks to get ready, culminating in a 50k long run on a Saturday with temps up to 30 degrees, even up north. I completed the ultra, my first one, on the 2nd of August. It was a humbling and powerful experience. I covered 73.5k on the day, using exposed beach to get some much needed flat in and cut across some longer bays, having battled cliff paths and ridiculous stairs up vertical walls of granite, finishing in 11 hours and 10 minutes inside the 12-hour cutoff. A victory for just keeping my head down and focusing on the next step. It pushed me to the point of wanting out, but I entered Goggins mode and decided to just do it. We should change that to I entered Conrad mode.
Yes.
And just decided to do it. If you want an ultra challenge for your summer season next year, Andy, I'd recommend this. Well organised, well marshalled, and a challenging, beautiful route. Cheers, James.
Amazing.
Wow. 48
James, that's
miles.
awesome. Yeah, to go from the disappointment of things not going right and then having that mental fortitude to then get through an ultra, it's amazing. That's it's what we all strive for, isn't it?
Yeah, that's really good. And I like what you said about like the different terrains and stuff, because the one thing I've noticed from doing a handful of ultras that I've done is that there's constantly a distraction to the pain that you're in. Like, if you think about some of the dullest races you've ever done, like a run-through race around a race course 4 times or something like that, that is like a never-ending amount of pain. But an ultra is completely different, where you're constantly in physical pain, but you've got beautiful views, or you've got like technical rock faces to climb up because you will die if you misplace your foot. Or, the stakes and the risks are very different. So that's what I think so interesting about ultras, is that you're concentrating in a very, very different way, and you're using your mind as much as your physical, fitness and all that sort of stuff. So, but yeah, I'm really pleased for you that the Round the Rock race went well. I have to look into that. That sounds like amazing. A good summer adventure. So very well done.
Awesome. Is that the last of the emails?
We're up to date.
Amazing. Look at that. It's not bad, is it?
I know. I can't believe it. We just need a few emails from our Aussies down under to make it up to 3 hours now.
Yeah.
We just need Amelia to write in.
Yeah, I know. Right. So all that leaves then is the Strava segment. And I probably shouldn't have leant that far forward.
You're regretting that now, aren't you? You almost caught me off guard then as well. I was like, I don't know. I forgot what we were actually doing. I was like, he's getting close to the. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, I wasn't able to. Strava wouldn't let me sign in on my phone on the web browser, because you can't actually see all of the details of the club in the app. You have to actually sign into the desktop or the web browser version.
Yeah.
But it won't let me sign in on my phone, so I haven't got that. But I have written down all of the details. So for our distance top 3 this week, in first place was Chris Reynolds with 100.1 miles. So he planned that well to get just over that 100 mark. So amazing work. Second was Kyle Blacketer with 80.2. And third was Adam Mays with 78 miles on the nose.
Nice one.
So great work from you 3 with that mileage. And then our top 3 for elevation. In first place was Denai Kuden with 9,489 foot. Second was Paul Dolphin with 7,290 foot. And third was Stephen Smith with 4,921 foot. And then our top 3 ladies For distance, in first place was Rachel Watson with 63.1 miles. In second place was Victoria Lee with 54.3 miles. And third was Chloe Hamard with 53.4 miles. And then we now have another section, which is our top 3 ladies for elevation. And in first place was fellow B&R runner Lisa Thomas.
Oh, Lisa's back.
Yes. So she has started making her comeback to running. She's raced the last couple of Vets Leagues, which is
Brilliant.
really good to see. So hopefully she will be back to full fitness and racing super fast very soon. But Lisa Thomas was top with 3,953 foot, which I think included a Woolacombe Dunes Parkrun.
Oh, epic.
As part of that. So, yeah, awesome. Second place was Chloe Hamard with 2,707 foot. And third was Avine D with 2,672 foot.
Wicked. Well done, everybody.
Awesome work, everyone. Thank you very much indeed. So, yeah, if you would like to try and make it onto the Strava leaderboard, join our Strava club, Running the Red Line. And also, I haven't said this for a while, but go onto YouTube and subscribe to our channel. Let's get our subscriber count up. Why not?
Yeah. What are we on, did you say? Did you say what we're on? I don't know what we're on.
I think we're on 620 something now.
That's not bad.
So, which is, not bad at all. 623 we're on now. So let's keep that going. Let's get that number going up. So if you are new here, or if you just listen and you don't actually watch on YouTube, go on YouTube anyway and give us a cheeky subscribe.
Just while you go to bed, just put it on, and just let it play, go to sleep, just so we can have an extra play and press subscribe.
Yeah. But amazing. Thank you so much to everybody for listening or watching, and we will see you again next week. Cheers, guys.
See you later, everybody.